Welcome to Eagles and Birdies. We are back for another episode of Meet the Designer, and we've got JPruitt10, right? Is that how you say it? Pruitt?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
All right. Well, I think, we'll get started and another pretty easy Discord handle here, but I'll let you explain JPruitt10 to us.
Yeah, it's easy. My name is Jeff, so that's my first name. Pruitt is my last name, and then 10 was my baseball number growing up, and so I use 10 as my number for everything, and
Okay.
everything in my life I have a 10. So that's really all there is to it. It's not very unique.
Yeah, well,
Pretty boring guy.
this season we've had some pretty simple ones, right?
Yeah,
So far, and last season we had a Mace and a couple other simple
right.
ones. So
Yeah.
so yeah, you've fallen in that camp, right, too. So
Yeah.
you're
Usually, because
good,
usually
but
I'll sign up for something like Discord without knowing like what it is, and so I just say, "Oh, I'll just use my name," and then afterwards I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, everybody has like unique names. What's up with this?" So then it's too late. So I guess
Yeah,
I should change it now.
I'm right there with you. I had this Eagles and Birdie thing going just before I joined Discord and got into GSPro, so I'm
Okay,
like, oh, we'll just go with that.
right.
So yeah, so tell us a little bit about you, Jeff. Where are you from, and how'd you get started in GSPro?
All right, sounds good. I live in Columbia, South Carolina. So I've basically lived my whole life in South Carolina in the Columbia area. I was born in Washington, D.C., but moved down this way probably when I was like 2 years old. So kind of been in Columbia my whole life, except for school. Um, and I am married and have four of my own kids, and we foster two boys. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But so we got a full household. I got 8 folks in our house right now. It's wild and crazy, but it's fun. And then really didn't really started playing golf like probably 2 years ago. Some of my friends who play were just trying to get like a big group of guys to go out and play, and there ended up being like probably 20 of us. And it was the first time I really had ever played. I played once or twice in college, but like the second or third hole, I parted or something like that, and I was like, oh, I'm stuck. I'm hooked. So I've been playing ever since then with these guys, and naturally just kind of led to the idea of simulator and all that kind of stuff, just researching it, and started off probably where most people did with uh, TGC, and started off just playing courses on there. But the Sky Track is what I still have in my garage, and Columbia is not known for its golf, and most of the courses around here are pretty boring, to be honest with you, in the Columbia area. And so I was like, man, I want at least South Carolina to be represented a little better in in the simulator world. And so that's when I started designing some in TGC, and really did, man, I probably did 10 courses just in the Columbia area, because there with TGC you can just kind of, you know, do them quick, and doesn't matter how good they are, you just do them. And so has been doing that, and I mean, it was only 2 years ago, so GSPro was already around. Um, and I wish I would have known about it when I started. It made my life easier to start with. But about a year in, or a little less than a year in, I started seeing it pop up more and more in conversation. Started researching it, and so when my year subscription with SkyTrack went out, I was like, well, I'm switching to GSPro, and so never looked back since then. And so it was kind of a natural movement from courses on TGC, and wanted the same thing in GSPro, because less courses with GSPro, there's even less representation of South Carolina in this area. And so I was like, well, I need to start, knocking out some courses here. Really had very little, like have had some Photoshop background, some like Adobe Suite, Premiere, Illustrator background, but had never heard of Blender. Had never heard, well, I'd heard of Blender, but had no clue what it was. Never done anything with Unity, QGIS, Cloud Compare. Like, the entire thing, start to finish, was completely new to me. And so I think this was last December is when I decided I want to start, doing some courses around here to get some Columbia courses on there. And in January, February of this year, I guess I was when I kind of published my first couple of courses. And if you go back and look at them, they're not good. They're pretty bad. And those were Columbia area courses, and
What were they? I'm trying to remember because
it
that's
was
right when I started doing flyovers.
right. It
So
was it may have been before even that, or it was not worth you doing. But Country Club of Lexington is one of them,
okay,
which is where Wesley Bryan, PGA Tour pro
yep,
guy, Bryan Brothers. That's kind of his home course. He's out there all the time. So the Bryan
okay,
Brothers YouTube channel, ton of stuff with that course. Um, that's a really not. That's one of the nicer courses in Columbia. And then there's another course, Cobblestone Park, which is where the University of South Carolina team plays. Which is another. Those are the two nicest courses in Columbia. So I did both of those. And I think there was one other called Golden Hills that I did. That's the closest course to me. And so those are kind
okay.
of the three that I did. And like I said before, the Columbia, they're all kind of just those parkland courses that are very standard, nothing too unique about them. And so I kind of was ready to try some other things and do some other courses and stuff. So that's kind of when I also noticed that, Myrtle Beach, there was maybe two courses from Myrtle Beach at the time. I was like, well, I want to go that route and try some of those. And those are a lot more fun to build. So that's kind of where I'm at and what I've done. I mean, I really am a testament to like anybody can learn how to build a course. It takes time, and I remember that first one. It was just incredibly frustrating trying to figure out what did I do wrong here. But over time, you kind of learn and you grow in it. And so from where I was in January doing courses, big difference. So yeah, that's kind of
So how do you
none of my
find
kids.
time with 6 kids in the house?
That's a good question. So I'll do it at night sometimes when they go to bed. I like lunch break. I do my lunch break at work here. I'll do it. So I'll really just throw it in there whenever I can, as much as possible. The kids, they go to bed at like 8 o'clock. So I have from usually at night. If you ever see my Discord, I was like, you might want to play at 9 o'clock
Nine
tonight.
o'clock.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, 9 o'clock because that's when the kids are in bed, and so I'll do it for a few hours every night, and then most of my lunch, I'll bring my lunch to work and do it over lunch break, just whenever I can kind of get it in there. So
How many do you have out now? I mean, it seems like you drop like two like
there's
every
probably 15 or 16 now. Yeah. And like the first 3 or 4 aren't really, I guess you can count them, but they're not great. So
you did
there's
the
probably 10. There's probably, and I did a par three course that's a little shorter. So there's probably 10 that I would say, yeah, these are good courses that I really
you did the
proud of.
one with all the famous holes, right?
Yeah, that was my first Myrtle Beach one that I did. And I think that was the first one I did after the Columbia ones. And I was like, I'm gonna try something in Myrtle Beach. And it was right when people had been asking on Facebook a bunch, like, hey,
Yeah.
are there any of those any compilation things? And I knew of that World Tour Golf Links. So I
Yeah,
was like,
that's
oh,
what it's called.
here we go. So that was kind of yeah. But even that one now looking back, I mean, I'm like, man, there was a lot more I could have done with that course that I didn't do. And that was probably 5, 6 months ago. So you
Yeah,
always
that's when I really kind of caught on to, what you were putting out at that point, because I'm like, okay, this kind of hit everybody's interest because they've been
right.
asking that question.
Yeah.
And maybe I saw your release prior to that, but then that one came out and I'm like, all right, this guy knows what he's doing. He dropped a couple, and then they just progressively got better and better and better. Now I think everybody knows, JPruitt10 courses are just going to be top notch, right? So
Thank you. They are fun. It's fun to do. So hope I continue to enjoy it because I'm the type of guy who if I stop liking it, I'll just like drop it and move on to something else. But I don't see that happening because I've really enjoyed even from TGC to now for the past few years. I've enjoyed the building is fun. So
how long does it take you to do one? Just kind of sprinkling in a couple hours here or
and
there.
I see people kind of giving hours and stuff, and I've thought about it and tried to figure it out. I have no clue because it's so sporadic when I do it
Like
that
a month, two
but it's a
months.
good. I mean, it's a good 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay.
Um, probably that I'm working on it, and I'm also so if I get going on something, like I'll stay up later than I should one night to like keep hacking away at it. So, yeah, I'm doing a course right now for someone, and it was a very easy basic course, and it took about a week and a half, which is a little on the lower end.
Okay.
Um, it's kind of like building a house. You get all the bones together pretty quickly, but then when you're getting in there to do all the
Detail.
details and stuff like that, it kind of slows down. It's a little more methodical and stuff. So it kind of is similar to that. Um, so I could say, I mean, we can get a course ready to actually be able to be played in a day or two, but then to actually make it look like a course you want to play, it takes
Yeah.
a few more weeks.
So you playing more sim golf than outdoor golf?
Me and the guys usually play every Friday. I'm off on Fridays, so we'll play Friday most Fridays, unless my wife needs me home for something. All the kids are in school, which is great. So that's usually my day to get out and play. Probably ends
What's
up
your
being every
handicap? What's your
What's that?
handicap? What's your
Handicap.
handicap?
I'm not a great golfer. I've only been playing for a little over 2 years now. I think I did my handicap. I think it's like 16, maybe 16 or
Okay.
17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Bogey golf. That's fine. It's
bogey
good.
golf. Yeah. Usually, if I'm if I'm in the low 90s, I feel good about the round. If I'm mid 90s, that's normal. If I'm above that, I feel like I've left a lot of strokes out there. So that's
Under 100 is good.
yeah,
So
that's right. Yeah.
I think you guys know the great Van Genie lives pretty close to me. So we play some golf, and
Yeah.
I tell him, as long as you're under 100, I'll invite you back.
Yeah, that's
So
right. That's right. As long as you keep up with
just
the pace and
just
yeah,
stay under
don't embarrass
100,
me. Don't
and
embarrass me.
we'll be good. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want any members going, who did Colky bring out here on?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You know what is awesome is everybody I've talked to, most of the designers like really are new to golf.
Yeah.
They picked it up in the last couple of years, and that's why I think this sim world and GSPro is just continuing to grow the game. Or so are your kids into golf now that you got something in your garage?
I have tried. We have some. Two of my kids are left-handed, so we have some left-handed clubs, and those are the two that kind of enjoy going in the sim and hitting here and there. Neither of them are old enough to go out on a course yet, really, and play. So
Okay.
I'm trying to get one of them interested enough to like really take it up and go with me. But my oldest is in a ninth grade in high school, and so she would be the one that could actually go out, but she has no interest at all. So I'm trying.
Yeah, get a scholarship out of her, right? I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. That's right. And usually the kids they'll come in and I'll be hitting and they'll say, "Can I?" They want to putt. So when you get to the green or whatever, can I putt when you get to that spot? And I'm like, yeah. And so I'll let them putt. You know. So
Yeah,
that's
mine will come in and has no interest, but then we'll gain interest, and then it goes up and down.
right.
And when there's interest, I get excited, right? But she'll
Yeah.
like come down and be like, "Hey, I'm ready to actually play today," and I'll be in like an SGT round or like
Right. Yeah. Like,
some online thing,
get
and
out
then
of yeah.
you know what I do? First thing I do is cancel it. I'll close.
Yeah.
I'll concede the
Yeah.
whole SGT round. I don't even care. You
Yeah.
want to hit
Right.
3 balls? Cancel it. Let's go.
Right.
Right.
What happens with my kids is I will do that and then they will play one hole and be like, okay, I'm done.
Well, yeah, she does the
Like,
same thing, right?
yeah. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Well, kids courses more and more. We've got some of those, like we've got Candyland, and we've got some of the
Yeah.
Patreon guys have
Yeah.
some kid courses.
Right.
And you might have sprinkled a little bit of kidness out on social media,
Oh, today,
and
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I'm making a putt putt course that one that I grew up playing in Garden City, South Carolina, which is the Myrtle Beach area, and hadn't really thought about it before that. Just like there's lidar. Some guy was saying it in one of my comments that I posted that just like there's lidar for courses, all these putt putt places have a lidar. Because I kept thinking about how was I going to start it? Like, am I going to have to figure out sizes and Inkscape and all that? And I was like, no, I just go find the lidar for one that you already know of. And the lidar was horrible, but at least it had the reference points for the holes, And so kind of started with
So
that, molded it, and so it turned out pretty well so far.
is there, I mean, is there any like, I think putt putt, I think like clown who opens his mouth or
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
I mean, is there anything like that? You got to do blender work or anything for that?
So when you're kind of doing the process, there's a couple of spots along the way where the train kind of gets smoothed, and so that really kills like the little Hershey Kiss little bumps or whatever on things like that. So going back in, that's one of the things I did with Blender was go back in and kind of did a lot of molding of the train and moving it
Okay.
around and adding kind of those humps back. One spot I added like I don't know if it's going to work out, like a jump over water. And so you really want to get a hard edge there, some of those things. And so this one's a little more basic. I'll probably do another one that has a little more of that kind of stuff. Um, but there's definitely some sculpting, and with putt putt, you have brick walls kind of around the edges, and the balls like to roll and stick on them. So you
Okay.
kind of want to mold. I'm trying to mold the green up so it'll kind of filter back in. So a lot more working with the greens in Blender to make sure they work the way you want them to. So,
Okay.
because in a regular course, you can just roll off them into the rough or the fairway, which is
Yeah.
fine. But here they get stuck on a wall, or sometimes they'll pop up on the top of a wall. So there's a little things that you don't have to worry about with regular
Yeah.
golf.
Nice. Well, you've gone way too nerdy on me on that, so I'm going to switch gears and go back to our main focus. So you mentioned you played baseball. Do you still play
Yeah.
baseball, or like what position did you play? How'd you get into baseball?
I grew up playing baseball and tennis my whole life, and then ended up baseball is kind of the sport I was best at. So I played baseball outfield through college and played in like D2 college.
Nice.
And that was kind of baseball was it. That was all I did growing up through college. And then I always thought golf was just too boring, too slow pace, And then you get older and you're like, oh, this is the perfect pace for me.
So
So
you hit a draw with that shallow home run
yeah,
swing, or what?
no, it was a big slice, big
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to read that was the thing. I mean, driver is actually still the hardest club for me to hit because I still think I have kind of that baseball tendency of just like I don't know, just pulling off of it, and it's just I don't know what it is, but sometimes I'll hit it even today, and the guys are like, "That looks like you're hitting baseball again." I'm like, "Oh, great!" So I have to
Yeah,
constantly think, yeah,
one of my buddies I play with was a catcher, college
yeah,
catcher, home run hitter, basically,
yeah,
right? And we play like every day, and he has a baseball swing, but it's he hooks it, man.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
he
okay.
hits it a long lot ways, right? He's
Yeah.
super shallow and it hooks it. So I wasn't sure if you had that going on too, but
I don't
all
know.
right.
Yeah, it's definitely like I mean, learning the golf swing is very different. It's very different than the baseball swing, and yeah, if I don't constantly think about it, I'll revert back to what I did for 20 years.
Yeah,
So
I played a ton of baseball, and the neighbors were out playing baseball, so I'm like, yeah, I'll get all my old mitt and let's play, right? And I grabbed a bat and I like held it like a golf club, like
yeah,
interlock. I'm like, whoa,
yeah,
whoa, whoa, what's going
that's
on here? I've been playing
right.
golf way too long.
That's right.
Yeah. So we've been trying to pin you down for some Meet
Oh
the
yeah,
Designer for a while now,
yeah.
and you are always on vacation. So any more vacation plans, or what was the
No,
best
so
vacation this summer?
was it when was it this summer we were trying to get
I,
scheduled probably?
yeah,
Yeah, I
probably.
don't know, but so it's funny because I do have like all my coworkers make fun of me because I have like 3 vacation weeks, like but they're all like almost back to back to back in the summer, and that's my vacation time that I don't do any other. So I always get made fun of when I come back from that. Then I'm like, hey, I'm not going anywhere for the next 6 months. So, but no, so there's nothing right now. So we just got through vacation time. I don't have
Okay.
anything the rest of the year.
Any fun vacation
We went
memories?
on we went on a cruise with some friends,
Okay.
MSC cruise, which was fun. We go to like my wife's parents, go with them to the beach, go with my parents to the beach. The cruises were the fun thing this year. So we took our kids on one like earlier in the year, and then we did like a short one, just me and my wife and some of our friends a couple months ago to where did we go? Nassau and Ocean Cay. So it was cool. It was fun.
So why don't you talk about what you're doing with
Yeah.
the fundraiser and give us a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
backstory on why that's a passion project and
Oh
true to
yeah, for
your
sure.
heart.
Yeah. So really up to this point, I've kind of just built courses, mainly just the ones that I wanted to, and just because I really enjoy doing it and like doing it, and got to the point where I could, do commission courses if I wanted to. But I was kind of that's where I kind of am and was. I was like, I mean, I have a full time job and don't. It's not something that I just need to do. So I was like, I mean, I would rather do it in a way that um, gives back to the community and is more meaningful than just like you, I think you mentioned it earlier, just getting, getting some money for myself or whatever. So I don't know, just a couple of weeks ago, I was just thinking about you know, what could I do? And that's when it came to me. Why don't I do like a charity raffle fundraiser? Because the other thing I've noticed, and I'm always looking at the Facebook groups and stuff, and that's why I built the World Tour Golf Links, and kind of one of the reasons I'm doing a putt putt too, because people are always asking about that type of thing. Um, and notice there's a lot of people who would love to have a course built, but just honestly can't afford what it costs to build a course, So
Yeah.
that was my thought was, is there a way that we could, somebody would be willing to chip in $10-20 for the possibility of winning a course, that wouldn't be able to spend $800+ to get a course built. And then I didn't want it just to be for me, I wanted there to be some kind of importance behind it in the community, and that's where kind of the charity idea. So for me, my wife and I, we adopted our fourth child. We have three biological, and then our fourth child is adopted from China, and we adopted her in 2016. So that was something that when we got married, like from the beginning, we just both knew like that was what we really wanted to do, and kind of felt that calling on our life. And my wife knew like China, this is going to be her name. This is what we want to do. This is when we're going to do it. This is the child she's going to be in our family. Like, so she had the entire vision. Like, this is what we're going to do. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. We're doing it. And so that has always been a part of our family's story. And then I guess a few years ago, we just started becoming friends with some other families that were fostering and that were caring for, kids whose families and parents need some time to rehabilitate themselves and create a safe environment for their kids. And so that's kind of the whole thing for fostering, is creating a safe place for those kids while those parents are able to get back on their feet. And that's just another one of those things where I think like I was thinking it, my wife was thinking it, we were drawn to these families that were doing it. And so when we started talking about it, we were like, yeah, I think this is kind of the next thing. So we've just always had this heart for vulnerable children and orphans and kids in need, because we just have a place in our heart for that. And one of the things we did was we set our kids down and talked to all of our kids about it before we did it, and said, hey, we're thinking about fostering. There's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of crazy change the dynamic in the house. There's a lot of things to consider, and they were like, all of them were all for it. And so up to this point, we've fostered, I think, 6 or 7 kids at this point. Right now, we have 2 little boys that are in our house. And every time between them, we go back to our kids. Are you still want to do this? Are you sure? And so far, it's been like, yeah, let's keep doing it. So the idea of many of these kids end up back with their parents, which is awesome. Some of them end up with other family members, and some end up being adoptable because their parents just aren't able to care for them. And so when I was thinking about this charity raffle build, I was like, well, that's where my heart is. That's where our family's heart is. And so I honestly look through charities and look through, say, what is one I want to give to one that is going to use the money the right way, that is high on the list of recommended charities and all that kind of stuff. And so I was looking online, Googling it, and the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, Dave Thomas is the Wendy's guy,
Yeah.
who I think he was adopted as well, or somehow, or one of his kids, something. He has that same kind of backstory with something. And it was very highly rated as a charity, that it was very well recommended and had like one of the highest scores. And it also really spoke to where my heart was. And so I was like, man, this is no brainer. This is the perfect opportunity to do this. So that's kind of what it all came out of. And then even through this, I've had some folks messaging me saying, hey, yeah, I was adopted, or I ended up adopting some kids. So it's really connected with a lot of different people who want to give to something that matters, and then also have the opportunity to win something. So see kind of where it ends up, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about doing the build. Had a couple other guys out there who have volunteered to maybe do a couple some blender work or a couple things on the course, like Fangini and a couple guys. So I'm going to be reaching out to them. I think see some golfs that he's interested in, might be throwing up a structure, maybe doing a bunker or two, maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
But so I'm gonna get some of those guys to help out in some way, and I think it's gonna be cool. I think it's gonna be a great thing. I'm excited about when it's finally live and ready and done to be able to say, hey, this is a charity build,
Yeah.
um, and we were able to raise this much money for such an important cause. So
So what are the details? $10 a ticket?
$10 a ticket. So I have a little GSPro website, which is kind of my website that I've created for just some of my design stuff. And you can go on there, and there is a
What's the link? What's
yeah,
the URL?
GSProCourseDesign.com.
Okay.
And you can click on raffle, giveaway, whatever. It gives you the instructions. But $10 a ticket. You can buy as many as you want to. Half the proceeds are all going to the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, and there's a PayPal and a Venmo link on there. And I'm keeping a spreadsheet. I think we just passed 200 tickets, which is really cool. So my incentives I've decided on is if we pass 300 tickets, which I wasn't sure we would, but it looks like we're heading that way. I'm going to do 2 courses instead of 1. So
Okay.
I'll pull two of them. And then I'm also going to send like a discount course offer to everyone who's given a ticket as well. That's not as important, but yeah. So
be careful with that. You're gonna have 300 course builds.
I know. I can't discount. I'm like $10 course. No, that can be, still got to pay for the time a little bit. But
Yeah.
I want to give just to say thank you for for caring and doing a little bit. So yeah, and maybe lining up may say, well, I'll get to you in 2024 sometime or something. But yeah. So,
and when's the drawing? The raffle?
November 1st will be the drawing. So I'm planning on either streaming it live or creating a video, doing something and posting it on Discord, social media, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just gonna pull a name out of the hat or something and see where it goes. So yeah,
awesome.
It's gonna be good. Yeah, I was, some guys were commenting on the SGT Discord about, oh, let's make it really hard. Let's think of something that we can do. That I was like, oh, what am I getting myself into? But no, it'll be fun. I'm excited about doing it. So that's kind of, after I get done with this putt, that's kind of, I think, my next thing. I'm looking forward to that.
Great.
May take a break before that for a little while. So, like you said, I've been kind of doing it nonstop, and and the wife is like, on your computer again, building again.
Yeah, and now we're making a show. I'm gonna be on YouTube.
That's right.
So good.
So
as
always,
always,
don't always understand the golf obsession, I guess.
Yeah, right. Don't get yourself in trouble. A few of
That's
my
right.
guests have been in trouble after this
That's
aired.
right.
So so some questions that I ask everybody, some random questions. What are you watching? Streaming?
I really don't watch much TV, honestly, because I'm hanging out with the kids, playing with the kids, and then I'm building courses. But I college football, of course. I'm a South Carolina Gamecocks fan. So watch college football. I mean, I love Parks and Rec, The Office, those types of shows, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So I like the comedies,
Yeah.
those types of. That's, if I'm watching something, that's what I'm watching. So yeah.
What are you listening to?
So funny thing is, my entire family, we're all Swifties. So we're all Taylor Swift fans. So there's always a kid in the car. So we're always listening to Taylor Swift pretty much. When I'm in the car by myself, I usually have nothing going on because it's time for a little bit of quiet
time.
But,
yeah.
Every one of my kids, hey, can we listen to this? And they all know every song. And so
okay,
that's kind of what we listen to.
I
grew up on like 90s grunge and like 90s rock and stuff. And so that's kind of, if I have a choice, that's what I listen to. But that didn't happen often.
Okay. We're seeing quite a few themes, through meeting all these designers. 90s alternative, grunge, and
we're all probably similar age, similar generation, similar. I grew up in Pearl Jam and Nirvana and those guys, Alice in Chains, Rage Against the Machine. I can't listen to Rage around the kids though. So
favorite golf trip or favorite course you've ever played?
So since I'm fairly new to golf, I haven't haven't been around very much. So I've played a few courses in Florida when I've been on vacation there. And then I played Caledonia, which is Pawleys Island, Myrtle Beach, and True Blue, same area, which I built both of those. Honestly, probably at this point, True Blue is probably my favorite course that I've played. I played it this summer, and it's just a very cool layout, very unique. It's the Caledonia and True Blue are sister courses, so they're owned by the same people. They sit right beside each other, and they're both so unique. And you always hear about Caledonia in this area. And I played True Blue first. I was like, oh, this can't be beat. So that's probably my favorite course that I've played. Can't wait to go back this summer and play again. But and so when we went to Florida, we were vacationing in St. Augustine area. So Sawgrass was right there, but I think it was $600. $600, I think, was the cost at that point.
Sawgrass, right?
Yeah, Sawgrass was there, but it was very pricey. So we went to like a local muni there, which was okay too. So
you would have paid $600 and you would have lost 24 balls.
That's right. That's right. So,
what sticks are you swinging?
I have Mizuno JPX. They're 1 year old now, I think. So not the newest iteration, but the one right before that. And I have a Ping. I just got a new driver for my birthday, so I have a Ping 430 as my driver. But I love the JPXs. I love the Mizunos. I don't know much about clubs and stuff because this is kind of my first set of clubs that I've had. So they work though, and I like them. So my brother. So when I started playing, my brother gave me some Dunlops, I think, whatever, like the old like Sears brand or whatever it was. So I played those for like 6 months. No clue how bad they were. And then for a Christmas present, I got Mizunos. And I went out there, was like, oh my goodness, like night and day difference. So,
yeah. Favorite golfer?
I would say, I really like Scotty Scheffler.
So let me rephrase it.
Morikawa. Yeah.
Build a foursome. So Jeff, and then you got.
Yeah. All right, there we go. So So if I was playing with 3 others, I would want Scheffler there. I would want Rahm. I like John Rahm. Big fan of him. And then the 2 outliers is I lived in Aiken, South Carolina for 8 years. And so that's where Kevin Kisner's from. And he's a fun guy to watch and stuff. And so Kisner would be a fun guy to have on the foursome. And then I did one more. It'd have to be Wesley Bryan because he's local, went to South Carolina, and I watch all the Bryan brothers YouTube videos, and he's just like a fun guy. So I'd like to play with. So that would probably be my 4.
Awesome.
2 stars and 2 that are not superstars, but are still solid.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, hey, definitely appreciate the time. We got you pinned down on your summer vacation. I'm like your coworkers. I'm like, does this guy ever work? He's always on vacation.
I think the kids. I think I had some issues. Like I was trying to do it at home. I'm at work now. I was trying to do it at home, and when you have 6 kids in the house, it's hard to nail down the time. Once I get home, like I'm with them, it's hard. So so it wasn't just vacation. That was some of it.
Yeah, well, I know I've got one, and I can hear she just got home from school. So I'm like, all right, time to end the show. No, but well, definitely appreciate the time. I think whenever any of your courses drop, everybody's checking them out. Tons of views when they drop. I try to look at the analytics on the channel, and so the flyovers for JPruitt are through the roof. So keep going. You're doing a lot of good work. And then definitely wanted to get you on to talk about your raffle charity piece. And everybody, there's still time, so get your tickets. Check out the website. I'll put it in the description. And again, appreciate the time, and keep going. So
thank you, man.
All right, man. As always, Eagles and Birdies, Sunday mornings, 8 a.m. Keep watching season 2. We'll see you next time. Peace.